Mr. Laporta, Mr. Deco, and Mr. Hansi Flick. I am sorry, I wasn't aware of your game. I wasn't aware of what you were capable of. And as a part of the Barcelona fan club, I wholeheartedly apologize to you for doubting you, for not putting the faith in you when you needed it the most. And we are happy. We're not only happy, we are enthralled. We are, what is the right word? Enraged? No, I don't think enraged is the right word. We are engulfed with so much encouragement, so much passion, so much happiness, so much out of word adjectives right now that we don't know what to say. The kind of passion, the kind of furious and savagery that you have shown in the last few hours, and the kind of intent that you have shown in the last few hours, my God, as a Barcelona fan, I have been waiting for this. We, the fan group of Barca, the supporters, have been going through such, turmoil among us, such low phase for such a long time that we had to come in understanding. We had to come in understanding. We had to come in the settlement with the fact that yes, our club is broke. Yes, we don't have the money to buy big players like our arch rivals does or any other big club in the Europe does. But the kind of reply that you have put on the face of all these big clubs now, not even in the beginning of the summer transfer market, even before the World Cup, we know why you are doing this before the World Cup, because the price hike may rise or fall due to the World Cup and all. And as I said, hats off to you for understanding the business module so well and jumping onto it when it is the right moment, when everyone is at their vulnerable, and doing the deed just at the right moment. First of all, I apologize to all my YouTube fan base, all the 11 people that you have been following me for so long, for such a huge irregularity in between. From the last El Clasico till now, a lot of things has happened. Real Madrid, our arch rivals, had a UFC fight down between themselves. One got injured, one got into hospital, one got fined, $500,000 by the way, and then a press conference happens. The club gives an official statement that there was nothing really that huge of a deal in between them. But the main issue is who is the leak among us, who is the mole among us. The fight isn't the issue, the mole is the biggest issue for them. Then your own Papa Florentino Perez comes in and gives his own lecture, does his own PR about himself and himself only, what he has done for the club for the last 16 years, what he has created, what he has built, and no pun on that, he has created a big legendary career for himself. He has built an impressive resume, one of the, if not the best club manager, not the best CEO or the club runner of all time for in football especially. But the matter of fact that the kind of furious, the kind of enragement, the kind of complaint that all the Real Madrid fans have had for the last 2 years, he forgot to mention or he forgot to address any of them. But what he did was one-sided, we call it band baja barat. When the groom arrives at the bride's door, we bring out all the band or drums and guitars, and we do a big charade of bringing our groom towards the bride's home. That is what Mr. Florentino Perez did, a big charade of what he has done till now, but not addressing any of the issues in the last 2 years. The UFC fight that happened between Chouameni and Valverde was just another fight. This is so common in dressing room that you send every now and then you send one of your teammates to the hospital. That is so common. I guess in Real Madrid, I hope so, because Pepe Ramos, the kind of UFC fighter that you had in your history, it's not uncommon. The kind of ego battles that you might have seen It's not uncommon, and they were high testosterone man, mind you, very high testosterone man. Now, okay, UFC fight gone, Florentino Perez gone. Then comes in Mr. Arbeloa and the fight between Mbappe, the dictator, and the manager, Mr. Arbeloa. Mbappe says, in the previous regime under Xabi Alonso, I was doing so well, and now the new regime comes in and we are failing so much. And then Arbeloa says, well, I have said nothing like that. I have never mentioned him as the fourth striker. Mbappe says that he has mentioned him as the fourth striker for the current Real Madrid squad, and then Arbeloa comes in and says, no, there is no such incident. I cannot just put in a player who has come back from injury to the squad immediately or in the first lineup immediately. I have to bring him in slowly. That is the traditional way. And this is the most safest and most reasonable way, and Mr. Dictator here got offended by it. And we saw a very nice meltdown between the player, the dictator, and the soon-to-be forgotten manager as well. And then the huge rumor about Jose Mourinho coming in, and it is almost done by now, or it is still in talks. He is the most probable candidate if Florentino Perez gets elected as the CEO or the Papa of Real Madrid again, which most likely is going to be Moises Enriquez or Enrique or whatever the Enrique guy that guy battling against Florentino Perez is, has some good points, has some good planning, has some good intentions. He has mentioned some of them. He has mentioned that he is going to bring in some good marquee players, very big names in the football world right now. He is going to go for them. Hasn't mentioned anyone yet, but Rodri and Vitinha are one of them. And then he mentions that there is going to be a big management change. A manager is going to come in who is going to be taking the project for a mid to long term project, where they are planning for a big mid to long term project like they did with Xabi Alonso. But unfortunately, as we saw how that collapsed under Florentino Perez due to the influence of the dictators in your team, Vini Jr. Mbappe is blamed for his dictatorship, yes, rightly so, but you cannot forget the fact that it all started with Vini. The domino effect started with Vini, his tantrum in the El Clasico for being subbed off at the 66th minute, and then his non-cooperative attitude towards Xabi Alonso, and he gathered his own force, Valverde, gathering their own force against Jude Bellingham, against Xabi Alonso, and not cooperating with him. Unfortunately, that leading to the downfall of Real Madrid, and then Xabi Alonso being sacked, and that is where all the domino effect started off. And now the place that you are in, you cannot blame Mbappe alone for all the dictatorship shenanigans that he does. Vini is also part of the same cloth. So okay, that also goes. Then Jose Mourinho coming in, doing a reform, and then Florentino Perez also being re-elected, and then Enrique comes in with his own agenda, his own campaign, and all that. And now, in between all of that, we somehow managed to win the El Clasico in front of you. No guard of honor, doesn't matter. We win it fair and square, defeat you mercilessly. We could have been a little more lethal maybe. You also know that we could have scored 4 goals, but presumably a bad Barcelona is still much better Barcelona than the current Real Madrid, as it seems. But as things stand, we won the league. Unfortunately, we couldn't be the Centurion, but all things past that now. Lewandowski got a good farewell. Seeing a legend live like that with all the appreciation that he deserves makes me remind of the man, the myth, the legend, our own king, how he left without getting a proper farewell. Wish we could see a farewell like that for Leo Messi. And now that the season has ended and we are officially in the market, Laporta and Deco were ready to pounce in. Just as the season ended, they were focused. They knew what they have earned by now. I think by now Barcelona has come into that 1:1 ratio, and that has given them a freedom to purchase players with big price tags. And immediately after the ending of the season, they went for Anthony Gordon, and we were surprised, to be very honest. The rumors were with Joao Pedro, the rumors were about Victor Osimhen, the rumors were about Arne Slot, not Sloth, Arne Sorloth, and the rumors were about Vlahovic, Juventus striker Vlahovic as well. So out of nowhere, Anthony Gordon came in the picture, and he is a good lad. I have seen, as far as I have seen Newcastle play, he has been a very influential player for Newcastle itself. He has been organizing the gameplay in the left wing. He's a player who can play in the left, strike and right wing as well. A profile much similar to Marcus Rashford, but the only prime difference is in terms of number. Yes, Marcus Rashford in this season has been outputting much more because he has been playing for a much attacking based team, attack heavy team like Barcelona. On the other hand, Newcastle is not that attack dominant team. It reserves itself, tracks back, and Anthony Gordon in that team has been putting in some very good numbers. And the fact that it's a team that is defensively focused, he knows his defensive roles very well, and it shows in his stats as well. He has one of the most impressive defensive attribute in an attacking player. He presses well, he is a pressing monster, he has relentless energy, has relentless stamina, and one of the fastest player in Premier League and in UCL this season as well, clocking in 36 km/h, more than Mbappe as well in this year. So he is fast, he is relentless, and he's a technical player as well. He's a very good technical player, has ball awareness, has good special awareness, good vision. If you see his throw passes, if you see his passing range, you can see that he has good vision, and a player with good vision like that in left wing is going to help for us. Now it is to be seen. We are paying 80 million for a, not clearly 80 million, there are some loopholes in the whole contract. I mean, in this purchase there are some things that Deco and Laporta has done to make it, although the number in contract, in the statistic, the number is 80 million, but overall we are not paying 80 million. We are toning it down to somewhere between 60 to something, because there is a contract with Barcelona regarding Abde in Real Betis that Newcastle is looking for, that in that purchase Barcelona are going to get 20% or something like that. And there is one more player with which Newcastle is linked right now. If they purchase him as well, Barcelona will get some percentage of it as well. So the amount in that transaction is somewhere balanced and comes down to around 60 to 70 million. So let me take that as an example and calculate that as an example, and let's say we paid 70 million for this player, and to be very honest, no team actually pays 70 million for a player and keeps him as a rotational player. That is one thing. The kind of form that I know this player is one of our key player, has been one of our key player and most influential player in the last 2 seasons at least. One of the most influential in the last 2 seasons, and we have been suffering without him, and I am talking about Rafinha. Rafinha in his position has been, ever since Hansi Flick has came in, he has been untouchable. The kind of press, the kind of attacking awareness, the kind of defensive awareness that he has shown, the kind of influence he has had in the games, especially in the 24-25 season, the first season of Hansi Flick, he has been the key player for us. Whenever he hasn't been there, he hasn't performed, the whole team suffered. But the following season, the kind of injuries that he has suffered, there was a considerable dip in his form. There was a considerable dip in his presence in the team as well, because as much as injury as he has got, we have been lacking him, and the kind of profile that he has, we have been lacking that profile in the starting 11. Rashford is a good player, attacking player, yes, but he is nowhere near the kind of player who presses or has defensive awareness or tracks back like Rafinha. So we needed that kind of balance in forward, and Anthony Gordon brings that in. Now, there is one thing that has been in rumors since last season as well, since Rafinha was so injury prone last season, and there was talks that Rafinha himself was not sure about playing in Europe for the next seasons. I mean, the kind of injuries that he was going through, the kind of health he was in, he himself was in doubt of playing in Europe. So this is where the speculations come in. Barcelona are looking forward to signing 3 forwards this season. One, Anthony Gordon has been done. The second player is going to be Julian Alvares, and for whom they have already gave an official bid of 100 million without any players involved in it. And the third player is also going to be a forward, and that is going to be potentially Marcus Rashford, securing the deal of Marcus Rashford for 26 or 30 million, around that. So if we are making 3 signings permanent this season, and if we are not selling any forwards, for example, I thought that Rooney Bachi was going to go, and Rooney Bachi, the position of Rooney Bachi was going to be taken by Marcus Rashford. He was a rotational player for us this season as well. Due to Rafinha's injury proneness, he has been playing more, but he is comfortable with the rotational player role, and for the price tag he gets, fair enough. But if we don't see the selling of Rooney Bachi, and if Rafinha after the World Cup decides to, this is a hypothetical scenario, but if Rafinha decides to leave Barcelona and go for Saudi after World Cup, this is where these signings, these mega budget signings start to make sense. Because imagine this, we have a Rafinha right now who is still close to his peak. He just came out of his peak form. We saw how he has performed, and we know as soon as that season came to an end, all the big teams of Saudi came in hunting for him with big mega big budgets. So if Barca, Deco to be very precise, are mindful of this scenario, that the kind of demand that Rafinha is in right now, and are willing to let Rafinha go. I know, coming from a Barca fan, he is the leader of our team. He is the player who keeps the whole team together. The kind of influence he has on the other players and on the manager as well, the kind of energy and stamina, endurance, the kind of passion he brings into the pitch, that is irreplaceable. I know that. But think of it in this way: a player who has given his best time to our club, but is now heading to that phase of his career which is more injury prone, is more he is more prone to be in out of the pitch than be in the pitch. He cannot give his full. We have seen in this season as well that due to his injuries, he has not been in his full form. He is a big game player. In the big games itself, we have missed him. He hasn't been around, and the form after coming back from injury, the form that we have seen in him, it shows that he is not nearly there where he used to be. So if we are a little mindful of that, if we are a little mindful of the fact that yes, Rafinha is our player, he is the pride of our team, he has given a lot for us, and he is one of the most influential player of our team, but if we are a little mindful of the fact that also that he is aging, he is coming to an age that is that he is not going to be able to compete in the highest level much longer. And if we capitalize on that, although that is not the nature of Barca, that we capitalize on something, we don't use players as a like Real Madrid, to bring in their prime and then sell them off just as their prime is about to end. That is something that Real Madrid or some other clubs do. They are money-minded clubs. We are more like a family. We like to keep our players. We like to cherish them as much as we can, and like to have them retire as our legends as well. But in this case, maybe if Rafinha himself is willing to do so, because as I said, he himself is in doubt about playing Europe. So if there is any intention in his mind to leave Barca and go to Saudi, then I believe that Deco and Laporta should capitalize on that, because he still has a high value. He still has somewhere like 100 to 90 million kind of value to the kind of form that he has been in the Champions League last season and in La Liga this season as well, although there were injury issues, but still he has his value intact. So instead of selling him in his late 30s for 20 to 30 million, selling him now for a good value will actually help us to bring in some much younger, much high potential players as well. This is a kind of a deal that is, I like to call it devil's deal, where we give off one of our cherished player, and instead of cherishing him, making him the legend that he is supposed to be, we bring in another young player. This is the kind of evil deals that all the other. I am not in favor of that. I want Rafinha to be here. I want Rafinha to fully heal and be back in his peak form, because we have seen what he is capable of doing in his peak form in the UCL. Not talking about La Liga. In UCL itself, what kind of havoc that he is capable of bringing. We want that. We want that from Rafinha. But if he himself is willing to go transit from Europe to somewhere else, then I believe that we should capitalize on that. We should not let opportunity go for a legend. When a legend, he is already a legend for us, I believe so. When a club's captain is going, we should use that to bring in another potential high class player with the capability of being the captain of our team, being a high influential player in our team, and then cherish him in the same way as well. Although this is a hypothetical scenario, but still there is a possibility that the reason why Deco and Laporta are like pouncing on every target just right now, right at the moment, with such high budget, is that maybe they know that Rafinha may be leaving this summer. And if not Rafinha, then maybe there are players that are going to leave. Obviously, there are some players that are definitely going to leave. For me, I want instead of I want Rooney, Bargi, Casado, Araujo, Christensen. I want these players to go, these players to transit from our team and bringing a good target man kind of striker. I know Julian Alvares is a very good striker. He has a very nice, suitable profile for Barcelona, but we don't have a target man. The best season that came in under Hansi Flick, we had a winger, had a flary winger in Lamine Yamal. We had a player who was running behind the wing and was very direct in the form of Rafinha, and we had a target man in the form of Lewandowski, a player whose only work was to be present in the box when the ball comes in and finish the whole play. That kind of profile is missing right now. I know Julian Alvarez brings in that connectivity. He is very good running in behind the defender. He is very good with the ball. He is very good connecting with all the other players and running in, making the late runs as well. But that one specific profile, that target man kind of profile, that profile that sticks around in the penalty box and finishes the ball, is good in aerial duels, and he is good in corners. The guy who does the dirty job, who is physical, that kind of player is very important for us against low block teams, especially that you see in Spain, and that is the one profile that is missing. So I want one profile, maybe very low budget profile, but one such profile to be in there, because we know Julian Alvarez is going to be a starter. If he comes in, he's going to be a starter for Barcelona. There's no doubt about that. And there is Ferran Torres as well. But the thing with Ferran Torres and Julian Alvarez is that they are both very similar kind of profile, but Julian Alvarez is much better in the things that Ferran Torres does. Also, we cannot forget the fact that near the end of the season, Ferran Torres actually had a good run. So he is in a good form currently. Not going to say that he is going to be consistent or not, but he is in a good form currently. So I want that. Yes, he is a good optional backup. And one thing that is also good about this team is that we have two players, if we keep Rashford as well, Anthony Gordon and Rashford, who are capable of playing in all the three positions in front. Very good for us. And Ferran Torres as well. One dedicated striker, one dedicated marksman is a very good profile to have, and if he can bring one in low budget, I'm not complaining. Then Koundé has been in drought this season. There are moments when we see the glimpse of the best Koundé that we saw in the 24-25 season, and then there are moments when we feel like he is completely drained. He is completely out of touch of the former self of him, and that is concerning. And I believe we do need a good backup in that position. Araujo and Eric Garcia, the makeshift right back that they become, are options not good options, not bad options, they are options, but we actually need a good option in that position, and that I think should be the player that we couldn't get in the last summer, and it should be Denzel Dumfries. Denzel Dumfries from Inter Milan. He is a very good right back who is capable of going forward as well. Very strong, very physical presence in the penalty box as well. Very dominant, and he would be a very good backup for Koundé, or could take his place as well. I mean, the kind of form that Koundé is, I will not be surprised if Dumfries comes in and takes his position. This is my proposition. And then obviously a left-footed centre back, because we do desperately need one, a world-class centre back. I mean, Kubarsi has been world-class. Gerard Martin has evolved so well, but despite that, there are certain moments of vulnerableness in us. Although for Hansi Flick's system, it is required to have very good pressing system in upfront. That is why they are going for Gordon and Julian Alvarez, because they press so well. And behind him will be Fermin Lopez, Gavi, Pedri, Frenkie de Jong, and Bernal. All of these players that press coordinately, they are technical, they know how to press, they are relentless, their energy will be high, and Lamine Yamal blesses so well as well. So this is the reason going for this kind of scenario, because when the press up front is good, the defense in the back doesn't suffer much. We have seen that in 24 first season, where it was Kubarsi and Inigo Martinez, and they still messed up in certain situations. But when the press up front, because Rafinha and Lamine Yamal was mostly fit in that season, and they didn't miss that much in that season. And Rafinha being fit, his energy, his relentless stamina was key for that press to work. And now that Rafinha is a little injured and we lack that relentless energy in the front, Marcus Rashford could not do that, and that is why we were turned vulnerable in our during transition, and our defense opened more usual and more than the last season. And this season, the changes that Barca is bringing in, I hope it brings it works as the right component for to work, and hopefully this season we bring in that one cup that we have been thriving for all of these years, for 11-12 years. And that is it for this video. After a long time, I've been trying to watch every game, but a lot of things has been going on behind the scenes, and it has been a tough time. And hopefully for us Barca fans, good times are coming. Hansi Flick, I trust in Hansi Flick. I trust in the fact that the kind of signing that Deco is making, he's doing the right thing for us. I hope so, and I'm hopeful that this season we are going to win the Champions League. That was it for this video. If you liked my thoughts about the things, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to comment your thoughts about the whole scenario in the comment section as well, and subscribe to Boots and Balls.